It's the champ, Shannon the Cannon, two-time heavyweight champion of the world. And you're watching Sports Icons. Subscribe. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Champ.
With news yesterday that Tyson Fury was sending a contract to Shannon Briggs, and that's a fight that a lot of people are interested in due to the fact that Shannon Briggs brings a lot of hype. But Tyson Fury also sent a contract for whatever reason to Antonio Tarver. I'm guessing he's a Rocky VI fan. I'm guessing that's probably why he's done it. Antonio Tarver. Okay, anyway. So, Shannon Briggs has been asked about the disappointment of not fighting David Haye. And he's given his thoughts on the David Haye-Tony Bellew rematch. And this is what Shannon Briggs said about not getting the fight with David Haye. I was very annoyed because at the time I wasn't in a great financial position and I had to come over to England to get myself a little flat in Bermondsey. I came to England like a true guy looking for a job, and I went to Buckingham Palace, I went to his press conferences, I went everywhere. He said he'd agreed to fight me, everything was done, the paperwork was fine, I was put on his undercard, and he told me if I won, I'd be his next fight. I did everything, champ. With little or no money, just to survive and feed my family back home. I was doing gigs and special appearances for between £500 and £1,000, and I want to give a shout out to my boy Jay King for helping me out. I was really grinding, but I thought, it's fine now, because I've got this fight. I'll knock him off and get a title shot. Out of nowhere, he just dropped me. He changed his email, his number, and the rest of his details. I could have sued, but then again, I wasn't in a financial position to do so. Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, everyone got together and asked, what is going on here? The people are embracing him. What's going on? Everyone has love for the champ. Even Anthony Joshua was showing me love. The fighters are the only ones who don't. They're scared of my age. They're scared of the threat that I bring. As far as fighting David Haye, I wouldn't even entertain it because he's a coward. He's not a true boxing man. At the same time, I'll come over and fight anyone. I am crazy. With the rematch for Tony Bellew and David Haye, yeah, I watched their fight. He broke his leg during the fight. I couldn't believe it. Is Bellew a light heavyweight? What's this world coming to, man? Why are they fighting again? That's what I want to know. No one cares. Who wants to actually see them fight? There's nothing on the line. I'll be back in 2 or 3 weeks' time maximum. I want everyone to meet me at Buckingham Palace. We've got to go talk to the Queen. Enough is enough. Shannon Briggs statement. So, of course, he's serious, but of course he has to throw in jokes as well about going to talk to the Queen and all this kind of thing. And he is right to a point. The rematch, I think people are interested in it purely because of how the first one ended. People want to know, is David Haye officially finished now? Would he have beaten Tony Bellew had his Achilles heel not snapped? All that kind of thing. And is Tony Bellew a light heavyweight? Well, no, actually no, he's a cruiserweight, and he was boiling himself down to fight at light heavyweight, hence some of the struggles that he had. First fight against Nathan Cleverly, and then of course against Adonis Stevenson. But either way, he went to cruiserweight, did very, very well. He called out David Haye. David Haye decided to fight Tony Bellew for the money rather than go fight for the world heavyweight title against Joseph Parker. Now, a lot of people were interested in David Haye taking on Shannon Briggs, and right after his first comeback, now bearing in mind David Haye was out the ring for what, 3.5 years after his shoulder surgery. Didn't know if he was ever going to box again, but ultimately he did come back, and his first opponent was Mark Demori. And Mark Demori from Australia, okay, he hadn't been beaten in a long time. He was ranked by the WBC, I believe it was, I've forgotten now. But this was a good comeback fight to shake off a lot of cobwebs, a lot of ring rust. So nobody really begrudged him a fight with Mark Demori, who trained himself by watching YouTube videos. but nobody really complained too much. It was his first fight back. But then he said, everybody is going to be excited for my next fight. I promise you everybody will be. And he even put tickets up for sale. If you remember this, he put tickets up for sale before even announcing his opponent, with the promise that everybody was going to get excited. Shannon Briggs was running around, and it kind of appeared that this could be the guy. So while people thought, okay, nobody's expecting a huge name, somebody who's crazy dangerous for David Haye's second fight. So we thought, well, Shannon Briggs, he's going to be dangerous for a couple of rounds, and then maybe Haye can take him out and have a well-known name on his resume. Then he pulls out the bag, the Cobra, Arnold Jajai. Nobody ever heard of him. His claim to fame was once being a sparring partner for Tyson Fury and Vladimir Klitschko. Yes, he was undefeated, but the reason he was undefeated is because he was fighting people from Switzerland. You know, there's a very good reason for that. Now, Shannon Briggs turns up to the press conference of David Haye versus Arnold Jajai, kicking off with the "Let's go champ" and shouting at Jajai like, "Who are you?" all that kind of thing. So David Haye, and it's there for everyone to see, said, okay, you fight on my undercard, and then we'll fight next. Well, his exact words were, we'll see. But clearly behind closed doors, he must have said to Shannon Briggs, okay, you beat somebody on my undercard, and we'll fight next. So Shannon Briggs did that. Now, this was about bringing some kind of value to the show. And for those who remember the show, a lot of people were very, very excited that Shannon Briggs was on there, and he got paid peanuts to be doing this, purely because he thought he was going to get David Haye. And people were upset about the fact that David Haye got Arnold Jajai. Nobody wanted to see that fight at all. Nobody wanted to see that fight. And right away, people thought, right, okay, so this Haymaker 2.0 going for the title, all this kind of thing is complete cobblers. We know this one because you've just pulled out the bag, Arnold Jajai. You lied to everybody. You put tickets up for sale. People bought them on the pretense that it's going to be a decent name, and you come out with this guy. So David Haye's stock went down massively, absolutely massively. So Shannon Briggs, he goes on his undercard. He beats some guy. And if you remember, he was wearing the, on one side of his shorts, it was the Union Jack. On the other side, it was the American flag. So the UK fans were very, very excited about the fact Shannon Briggs, he just won. People were excited about seeing him. He is a legend of the sport. And of course, this is all pre-PED things that happened recently. But people were very excited about the possibility of him fighting David Haye. David Haye went all quiet on it. And we actually seen him running away from Shannon Briggs on the Carl Frampton versus Santa Cruz rematch. Yeah, David Haye legitimately ran away. Now, David Haye says that he ran away because he didn't want to do to him what he'd done to Derek Chisora outside the ring. He got a fine for it, slap on the wrist. He got his boxing license suspended by the British board, and he had to use a Luxembourg license to fight Derek Chisora over at Upton Park at West Ham Football Stadium. So he didn't want to go through all that, so fair enough. But either way, you did promise Shannon Briggs a rematch. And since then, Shannon Briggs he hasn't even had a fight. he hasn't had a fight. He's had a couple of fights scheduled, but for one reason or another, he was supposed to fight Lucas Brown for the WBA regular title. Lucas Brown failed a second test for a pre-workout supplement. Obviously, he claims accidental. So then Shannon Briggs is supposed to fight Fraser Quendo. Fraser Quendo isn't going to be ready, and then it's meant to be Ustinov. Then Shannon Briggs, no, sorry, not Ustinov. It was supposed to be Fraser Quendo. Then Shannon Briggs fails a test. He says that it's for asthma and depression as well, this kind of thing. So he gets pulled, he gets dropped, 6 months suspension. In between there, Alexander Ustinov steps in. Then Fraser Quendo pulls out. Fraser Quendo shouldn't be there in the first place. Ustinov ends up fighting Manuel Charr. Manuel Charr wins, and he's now the current WBA regular champion. So now Shannon Briggs is, of course, calling out Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury says, okay, you know, let's go, champ. I want to send you a contract. And, of course, Antonio Tarver. Who wants to see that fight? I have no idea. Who even wants to see Antonio Tarver? In fact, he's that old. His son is also a professional boxer now. But anyway, But Shannon Briggs will not be Tyson Fury's next opponent. Who's going to be Tyson Fury's next opponent? I don't know. But as far as David Haye goes and Tony Bellew, I think the ticket sales have pretty much proved that not many people are really interested in this fight, or if they are, they're a bit nervous that the fight isn't going to happen. So, I mean, Shannon Briggs is correct. Who's really interested in this fight? This fight shouldn't have been made in the first place, but it was. David Haye made a mistake, and yes, he should have been fighting Shannon Briggs way before that. So Shannon Briggs has every right to be upset about this. But now he's got a new job, if you like. He's selling pharmaceutical products via marijuana growing, all that kind of thing. So, you know, he's saying he's got no financial troubles whatsoever. So now he's fighting for fun. But would he fight David Haye? Of course he would. If the opportunity come up, yeah, man, of course he'll take it on. But anyway, that was Shannon Briggs' statement. Do you think Shannon Briggs has every right to be a little bit annoyed with David Haye? He says he's going to come over in 2 or 3 weeks' time back to the UK, where he does have a lot of fans, a lot of support. More so, and in his own words, he has more fans in the UK than he does in America. And I think a lot of that is because he's been insulting the WBC champion, Deontay Wilder. He was the one who come up with the nickname Beyonce Wilder. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what Shannon Briggs is going to do. Is he going to try and get in David Haye's face again? Is he going to try and get in Tony Bellew's face? Don't know. But more than likely, Tyson Fury. So, drop your thoughts below. Click that thumbs up. Subscribe. Oh, and of course, a big thanks to Kay Sinderman for sending me this article in the first place. So, thank you very much. Catch you next video.